Hello and welcome to the September 24th edition of the Sidereal Astro Update here at Mystic Physick Astrology. I'm 𝗦𝗶𝗱𝗲𝗶. I'm the astrologer and artist of Mystic Physick Astrology, and I use Western Sidereal Astrology in my practice to help you reconnect with your soul purpose and to remember why you came into this world to begin with. And my aim with this broadcast is always to provide guidance on how we can consciously use the energies of the transiting planets to affect our lives in a positive way. And so if you get anything out of these broadcasts when you watch them, please like and share. Tag a friend if you know someone who might be interested in following along our discussions on sidereal transits. You can also follow Mystic Physick on Facebook, and be sure also to subscribe to our YouTube channel. But welcome to the broadcast. I'm going to pull up the live stream here in my browser window just really quickly in case there are comments or questions. That way I won't lose them while we're live. But let's talk a little bit about what's up for today. Let's recap some current transits. Right now we have Pluto retrograde in Sagittarius, not for much longer. Neptune retrograde in sidereal Aquarius. We have Uranus retrograde in sidereal Aries. We've just come out of, through August, a lot of heavy retrograde activity, and then early September we had Saturn station direct in sidereal Sagittarius just on the 6th, so not that long ago. We do have Pluto returning to direct motion, which we'll talk about a little bit later on in the broadcast, and we have Venus about to retrograde, so a little bit of shifting in terms of planetary activity and how that expresses. When a planet is retrograde, their expression tends to be a little bit more muted. They're considered to be in a weakened state, and their energies are quite often internalized, which means we feel them personally in our minds, in our emotions, in our internal experience rather than externally in the world. So there's a little bit different way that those planetary energies play out when a planet is retrograde as opposed to when they're in direct motion. Eclipse season is just about over. We had some pretty strong, interesting eclipses coming through July and early August. Eclipses, of course, have a window of effect of up to 60 days before or after, and we had 3 eclipses in a row this time around, which is a long eclipse season for us. So we're feeling the very kind of last knockoff effects of those eclipses around this full moon today, the full moon in sidereal Pisces, and then again coming up on the 8th of October when we have our new moon, we have our new moon in Virgo, October 8th. We'll feel the final effects of the very last lingering eclipse effects. And so the window there where we can feel those effects is within, a day or so before and after the lunations. So do keep that in mind. Today, of course, is our full moon in sidereal Pisces. It's the perfect time to go through the full moon releasing practice that I guided folks through in the Sidereal Insights Astrology group yesterday evening. And I will post a link for that later today. It's not yet ready on the website. I'll post a link to the replay, and that way if you'd like to use the guided video, you can. But the September 24th full moon in Pisces, this can bring about an emotional ending. Full moons, of course, are responsible for culminations. They're responsible for endings. They're responsible for things coming to fruition. That's what happens at a full moon. With a full moon in Pisces, this is very likely to be rather emotional for folks who are experiencing this full moon personally. Okay, so it could bring an emotional ending to the forefront, possibly an ending that brings about a healing of some sort, a physical or emotional healing, or the healing of an unconscious belief or bias that you may be carrying, or even a healing of a spiritual nature. If you've suffered a spiritual wound, that's a potential for this particular full moon. So definitely check out later today when I post the link, the guided full moon in Pisces releasing practice. I walk you through reconnecting with your capacity for faith in a larger universe. That's a theme of full moon in Pisces. Identifying where self-deception may be holding you back from achieving what you want. And I walk you through the practice of releasing old, outdated beliefs that just aren't true for you anymore, never were true for you, and maybe you're just only realizing that they weren't even though you believed them. So I will post a link for that later today. Watch for that here on the page. You can also subscribe to the newsletter to get emails of replays when we do have the new and full moon broadcasts in the Sidereal Insights group. So if you'd like to do that, you can sign up for the newsletter also at our website, and be sure to check that you want to be notified when we do the lunar live streams, because then you'll get an email of the replay of the guided videos. Okay. Now, what else is going on? Mars is returning inbounds today. So his behavior is going to kind of normalize and settle down from this point onward. We went through a 2-month-long period of Mars retrograde. So we had that misbehavior coupled with the fact that he was out of bounds during that time. And when a planet is out of bounds, they influence us to behave and act in ways that are kind of what we would consider outside the bounds of normally accepted behavior. Now, Mars, of course, is the planet of conflict and aggression and competition, and so that is a way that we can experience his out of bounds, is making us hyper-reactive in terms of anger or competitiveness, overreacting to other people's aggression, or being overly aggressive ourselves in odd ways. Now, that's about to shift because Mars is returning back to within the bounds of the ecliptic today, and he'll stay there for a while. So we'll get to have some kind of normal Mars energetic expression here for a while. Now, coming up later this month on the 30th, we have Pluto stationing direct. He's been retrograde for more than 5 months, and during a Pluto retrograde, that tends to spur more inner transformation, inner change, right? Rather than external transformation. Now, as he makes this shift back to direct motion, you'll want to watch the days near that date for significant happenings. Take note of what transpires if you're affected, specifically in terms of things that change in your life through metamorphosis, where maybe something dies or is destroyed and then you experience it again in a new, fresh version, but it's changed, it's altered somehow. You can also experience psychological shifts or profound psychological realizations during this time, or even psychological healing. Pluto retrograde, we're more likely to experience internal healing, psychological healing, as opposed to external healing, Pluto being the planet of regeneration. Okay. So pay attention to the days around September 30th, and then also think back to events that may have come up in late April, which was when he stationed retrograde to begin with. So there may be some linkage between events at these two dates if you have an experience in the days when Pluto stations direct. Okay, but this is signaling the beginning of the next stage of transformative change, which is not always comfortable, not always painless, but almost always a good thing, a positive thing in the end. Venus retrograde. On October the 5th, Venus is going to begin a 6-week-long retrograde in Libra, sidereal Libra. Now, this is an event that happens roughly about every 18 months, unlike Mercury retrograde, which you may be more familiar with, which happens 3 to 4 times per year. Venus is going to backtrack across her entire trip so far through sidereal Libra. So she's going to return to 0 degrees Libra before she stations direct again on November 15th. So she's going to go right back to the cusp of Libra and then retrace her steps back that she's already come since she entered Libra earlier in September on the 2nd. Okay, so what happens when Venus is retrograde is that this is an opportunity to reevaluate things, to reconsider decisions that you've made, especially decisions that you've made or things you've undertaken since September the 2nd when she first entered Libra. But this is an opportunity to rethink, especially if you found yourself having second thoughts about purchases or investments, joint matters, because Venus rules relationship, as does Libra, right? She also rules money and business. So rethinking decisions that you may have made around these areas is something that can come up while she's retrograde during this 6 weeks. Now, keep in mind, Venus is happy in Libra. She's right at home. She rules Libra, and her stay there is going to present an opportunity for us to reevaluate relationships and partnerships of all kinds, and to recenter ourselves around what's truly important. We might shed connections that don't serve us any longer, and we might spend time strengthening ties with those partnerships and connections that are most important to us. So it gives us an excellent time to reassess what's important, what we value, right? Venus is all about what we value. So you can also reassess business arrangements. If you own a business or run a business, or if you negotiate business agreements, you can reassess arrangements and explore ways to end them, especially if you find that those arrangements are no longer equitable or profitable to things that Venus is very concerned with. Okay, now remember that retrograde is a weakened condition, like we were talking about earlier with Pluto retrograde. So while reviewing all of these things and reevaluating things can be a great way to use Venus's retrograde, trying out new things is not going to be advisable. So don't try out. Now, Venus rules what we consider attractive, and she rules beauty, right? So don't try out radically new looks, new hairstyles or clothing, makeup trends, things like that. You're probably not going to be happy with the result if you try out a new beauty look or a new clothing style when Venus is retrograde. You're also probably not going to be happy with the result if you visit a new esthetician. So if you go to a stylist at a salon for any reason, doesn't matter if you're male or female, if you're to visit a new salon or a new stylist during Venus retrograde, you're probably not going to be as happy with the result. However, if you went back to someone that you've seen before, that would be fun. You can go ahead and get your hair cut if you need it cut. Just stick with a style that you've already used or had in the past, because you'll be more likely to be happy with the result right now. And if you're thinking about making changes, wait until Venus goes direct to do that. Okay. You also don't want to be spending money on luxury goods for your appearance, makeup, jewelry, accessories. You may not be happy. You may end up just returning them to the store you bought them from. Save all of that for when Venus is at full strength. Okay. And preferably save it for when she's transiting your rising sign and just after a well-supported new moon in that same sign. That's the ideal time to update your look or your appearance. Now, you can do it at other times, but that's when the activity itself is best supported. Also, during the coming 6 weeks between October 5th and November 15th, don't start a new business. Don't start a new relationship or other type of partnership either. Wait until Venus is direct sometime after mid-November. Okay. Now, we do have a few announcements today. The September full horoscopes, of course, are up on the website. So if you haven't read those, your full horoscope by sign, read for your sun and your rising sign. You'll want to jump in and do that and catch what you need to know for these last few days of September. The October monthly overview and short reports should be live on the website tomorrow, and I will post a link for that when it's ready for those of you who've subscribed for advanced access. And then also join me in on October 8th. I'm going to be doing 2 broadcasts that day. Monday at 1:30 Mountain Daylight Time, 3:30 Eastern Daylight Time, 8:30 p.m. British Standard Time, and 5:30 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. We'll be having the next broadcast of the Sidereal Insights Astro Update on the Mystick Physick Astrology Facebook page. And then later that same day, you'll want to join us in the Sidereal Insights Astrology community here on Facebook, where I'll be live at 7:30 Mountain Daylight Time, 9:30 Eastern Daylight Time, 2:30 a.m. I'm so British Standard Time for my friends in the UK. I know it's awfully early. You'll probably want to catch the replay. And then 11:30 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Those are technically Tuesday, okay? For the new moon in Virgo guided intention setting practice. We'll be hosting that the very same day. So October 8th, big day, 2 broadcasts. Catch them both. One here on the Mystic Physick Astrology Facebook page, and then one, of course, in the Sidereal Insights Astrology Facebook group. And be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'll share a link for that in the description of the video once I hop off the broadcast so that you can access it easily. So we moved to a new YouTube channel in the last couple of weeks, in the last month or so, and you'll want to subscribe to that even if you've already subscribed to the old channel, because the old channel will be going away in the not too future. And then also new for this year, we've released an academic version of the Ultimate Astrological Planner. So the academic planner includes 13 months from August 2018 to August 2019. So it covers basically an academic school year. And this is also available this year in disc-bound formats and with printable refills available in sizes to fit common planner brands. So if you need a planner refill insert to fit a passion planner or a happy planner or your Franklin Covey Classic or even a pocket notebook, we do have printable refills to fit those sizes new this year, and you can check them out online at mystickphysick.com/2019. And thank you again for watching. Please, like I said, like and share this broadcast or tag a friend if you know someone who would get benefit from learning about what our current astrological transits are doing from a sidereal perspective and knowing what you can do to be prepared and how you can kind of ride those a lot more easily by being in alignment with them. Thanks for watching the broadcast, and we'll see you again next time.